So here we have a mounted Laelia praestans, and I started off with a compot of these, so I had maybe 12 or so, and I took the three biggest ones and I mounted this one. I'm just going to show sort of how this is developed on the mount. Really good root structure, very nice looking plant to me. I also had a couple that I put in baskets, so let me just show this guy. Also nice root structure. The plant looks good. They're not flowering now, but all of these have flowered. They've flowered, I think, twice. There's one more in a basket, in a slightly bigger basket, also very nice. And then I have two or three. So I have one in a plastic pot. It does look like pretty good root structure in there. It's not growing as much as it looks like it should inside of the actual bark. It's coming outside of the bark, so that leads me to believe it's not really loving, the roots aren't really loving life in the bark. And then finally, I've got one kind of scrawny guy in a clay pot. So I typically try to do this sort of stuff when I'm growing, where I'll try the same plant in a lot of different ways to see what grows best. And for me, the two best ways are this mounted guy and these guys in the baskets. So what I'm going to do is pull the least happy of these guys, which is this sad little fella. It's not actually, I just think it's a smaller plant. I don't think it's that sad, but I'm still going to pull him out and I'm going to mount him. Okay, so I've got a piece of ohia that I have been saving. It's a nice mount, and the stuff that I've mounted on ohia so far has been really happy. It's done really well. It's very hard wood. So I've got my hole drilled. I've got a nice, I think, cool looking piece. I've got my hanger ready. So really quickly, actually, I'm just going to do a long hanger on this guy. And I'm only doing this because I'm anticipating this turning into a specimen plant over the years, where I can actually hang it kind of from anywhere I want. So I always do this the same way. I just take my wire and crimp down one little bit like that, then draw it through. And it's easier on softer woods. It's actually pretty hard on ohia because it's just such a hard wood. But I'm just gonna pull this through as much as I can, and at that point that's pretty set in there. I think I just lied because it moved, so I guess it wasn't set in there, but I'll bend it down, and then this will then, I'm going to make a long loop, that way I can kind of hang this over anything. And I'm trying to move into shade house. I'm trying to move to having more like wood or pipes that I can hang stuff off of, so this is sort of will give me a lot of choices. Okay, so the mount is ready. Get my little orchid, and you can see when I pull this out, actually it doesn't look too bad. It does have one nice root that was growing in there, so it probably would have been fine if I'd left it in there. I just kind of want to move away from potted plants anyway. I want to get more to mounts. So I'm just going to delicately pull. We had some rain last night, so this bark is coming off pretty easily without disturbing the roots too much. But I want to try to get the bark off. I don't want to rip the roots. So I'm not going to pull that any harder than I already have. I don't want to do any more damage. Okay, I feel good about that. Yeah. So take my mount, and whenever you're looking at a mount, you're always making a determination of where's the newest growth going to come from. So in this case, this is the newest growth. So the newest lead after that is going to come from here. So I'm just going to put this on like that. So as it grows, it'll start to circle this plant. So I'll put it on. And with the moss, I think people are sometimes confused about the moss. The moss will hold a little bit of moisture. We really don't need too much of it here because we have such a wet climate. If you're in a drier climate, you probably want more moss. But when it gets dried out, you need to beware that it'll maybe be a little harder for the water to get taken up. Excuse me. All right, so I'm getting this on here. I'm getting this on here really, really firm, because the worst thing you can do when you're mounting something is not put something on very tightly, and then the plant starts to pull away and droop off, and you have to start the entire mount over. I just think you need to start over from scratch. All right. One firm, solid cut. And I've got my trusty hole punch, and I will punch the end of this label. Laelia praestans. Make it look somewhat pretty. And that should be ready to go. So if you follow me back into the greenhouse, or the shade house, when I mounted this got mounted to this piece of ohia, and this is ohia, it's the same type of wood, it's just a smaller branch. This got mounted about 6 months ago. And it was a little bit bigger of a plant than this, but not significantly bigger. So I do anticipate this will grow pretty rapidly. And I will set this guy right there, and that's how I mount my Laelia praestans. Thank you very much for watching.